Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Still have time to book our Tom and Dan cruise, TOMANDDANcruise2024.com.
Yeah, all the details on the website. You get unlimited drink package, 2 of those for you and your guest.
Yeah.
You get Wi-Fi. Your unlimited drink package works on the private island we will be partying on.
Yeah. We're doing a live podcast. We're doing some little special bingo
Yeah,
with maybe
mediocre
special
idol.
guests.
Yeah,
A mediocre idol,
Yeah,
which is our
Cadillac
karaoke.
Pat will be there.
Yeah. Brendan O'Connor.
Indeed.
John Bustecker.
Indeed.
So you could, all the details again, TOMANDDANcruise2024.com. Let's go right into some weird job.
Yeah, man. Let me. Are we gonna skip the song or?
Oh, we can
You wanna
skip the
do it?
song.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
skip the song
Okay,
this
yeah.
week because it's a little too long. But on
Yeah.
the line with us right now this is something that I think you willed this to happen.
Well, Rockville was last weekend.
Yes.
And we've always been fascinated with Rockville
Yes.
because the mass amount of people that show up and the camping element of it.
Yeah.
The heat, the heat.
It's a thing.
And we've got Justin on the line who was working out at Rockville. How you doing, Justin?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. Hey, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. What was your job out at Rockville?
All right, so this is kind of something I know Tom has wanted to talk about in the past anyway. I work for a site services company, so we do all the portalets and restroom trailers and fencing and all that jazz.
Man. So you're
Wow. So
yeah.
I like the company's like site services company.
Yes, it does sound better. It sounds better.
That makes it easy for me when people ask me what I do. I'm like, site service company.
I'm going to start saying that instead of podcasting.
Yeah. You're just draining doo-doo from reservoirs.
Exactly. You're just driving it around. I don't even think you drain it, right? Like, don't you pick them up and take them off site? Or do you have to drain them before you...
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So how many porta potties are at Rockville?
Okay, so total, I'm not sure the total number, but I know the biggest one bank of toilets that's by the main stage out there was 300 portalets.
Oh,
you know what I like? You know what I like? I like
Yeah.
it almost like an exotic animal. They're like, we don't know how many are out there. I like that. I like that the porta potties.
300 doo-doo reservoirs.
It's like pangolins. Those crazy dragon looking. They're like, we don't know how many of them are out there.
So explain to me.
I think total number was probably right around 800 out there.
800.
Oh my God.
Just go for 1,000 if you're at 8. I feel like.
They're also, cooking in the sun.
Yeah,
I mean, just.
Why not make them white?
You bring up a good point. The roofs are usually white, I guess.
Yeah, why not make the roof aluminum to reflect?
Too
expensive?
It'd be searing hot. That makes it hotter.
Cooking you.
So it's like putting like a flat grill on the roof. So
you're running the old stone.
So tell me the process of how do you collect them? Do you drain them? How does it go?
Yeah, so they set them, they're down there. We got guys down there I'm from Jacksonville. We come down to help out. We got like 3 guys from up here that came down to help out. There's probably, 20-some guys down there for the whole thing.
So you guys kind of do what the power people do when we have hurricanes, except you're the doo-doo version of that. It's like when Rockville's coming to town.
Yeah, we do.
I see all of you porta potties. You're parked to the side. I'm saluting you as I'm driving. I'm like, good job. You're doing it. Keeping us running. Keeping America running. You're just like Duke Power.
We're like the linemen that you don't respect.
Yeah.
So, they load in about a month ahead of time. 3-4 weeks ahead of time. They get everything loaded in. And we get there, day before and help finish setting up. And then every morning we leave. We have a little compound like outside the track down there where we have campers set up, which is great too. We get to stay on site in campers for 6 days, which is wonderful.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a camper though, right? Like it's plugged in and has power and stuff.
Yeah, it's barely a camper.
Okay, I got it.
It's a pop-up.
Yeah, that's what Tom's wife wants. She wants to go full Rockville. You're looking for the Rockville experience with your sons, right? The full kid Rockville.
Yeah. There's nothing quite like you get like 2 hours of sleep, and during it you're listening to hate breed or something. You know, about 100 yards away from
I
you.
would actually listen to some hate breed. I enjoy some hate breed.
Nothing like draining
Yeah.
some doo-doo and then sleeping through hate breed.
Yeah.
with
It's hard to sleep through hate breed.
with the pop-up
right.
tent
At
material
least
between
catch
you.
the first couple of hate breed songs.
So Justin, how do you?
How many do you carry per truck?
What's that?
How many doo-doo shacks do you carry per truck?
Oh, like so our biggest trailers carry like 20.
Whoa.
So once.
So yeah, so when we're loading in, man, it's trailer after trailer. We actually sent we got portlets from branches that sent them in regular tractor trailers that delivered down.
This
there
is just like the power people. See, I told you they're coming from everywhere.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we do. I mean, we do hurricane stuff too. We're right there camping with the linemen.
Are
so.
they empty when you deliver them, or are they full of the big blue?
Yeah. No, they're empty, and then we prep them up. You know, the day before everything cranks up.
So Justin, I'm curious to how do you know when they're full for you to take them out? Do you have to physically go inside and look through the hole, or is there some sort of like we don't know, like some sort of level or indicator
Yeah,
on the
we
outside?
So it doesn't really matter. We just every morning we go out there about 3:30, and we pump everying out of every portalet every morning.
Every single
and then
tampon
restock
gets
them.
pumped out.
Oh yeah, everything, and it's just basically a doo-doo and a trash can that we're pumping out.
Wait,
every
into a trash
morning.
can? I always figured you guys had
No,
like a.
we're pumping. I mean, but they use them for trash cans. So I mean, everything that anybody throws in there, we got to get out every morning.
Now we're gonna try to be as
Clinical.
Yeah.
We're like doctors. here.
radio friendly as
Yeah.
possible
But we
here.
are talking about emergency services, I feel like, right? Like, I feel like it's just as important as powermen.
So, how often do you run into complications? Because I'm sure you got it down to a science.
Complication.
Where, like, you know, I've RV camped enough where I've gotten pretty good at the doo-doo hose and basically attaching it, opening up the valves, draining it into the disposal underground tank or whatever at the RV park, and then running water through it, as clean as possible. So I'm sure you guys have a process that makes it, as clean as possible, but I'm sure you run into some problems where, people are throwing items in there that now get stuck in
Like
the
a
hose.
baby. People put babies in porta potties.
Yeah,
you ever found a baby in a porta potty, and did you keep it?
No, I did not. I turned it in.
So
Okay, I see. That's the responsible thing to do.
So they're always full of bottles and cans and vapes
Just
and
clap your
whatever
hands.
anybody else drops in there. And honestly, out there, I know you guys were talking about the other day about the guys that got busted for stealing cell phones and stuff. So, like every bank, you find 4 or 5 portlets that are full of cell phone covers because they take the cell phones and then they take the cases off of them, throw them in the toilet, and move on with their duffel bag of cell phones. So. Yeah,
So that's why I've seen all the cases in the toilet.
time.
I've been into a portalet, and I've been peeing on people's cell phone cases and been like, ha, ha, ha.
why don't they just throw them in the trash?
They can be seen in the trash.
I don't know. I wish they would. In some places, some stadiums and stuff, there's not a ton of trash cans. Out there's a lot of trash cans.
What if the answer, Tom, was as simple as it's fun to pee on somebody's cell phone case? Would you accept that?
So, Justin, I imagine, for when I was a kid, I used to hear the urban legend that garbage men, their nose basically becomes desensitized to the smell of garbage. It basically burns the stink out.
Well, it's a callus that I think. I
Like-
think you create a callus on the cilia of hairs that are within your nose.
And they can't smell it anymore.
Yeah.
And your body protects itself from the harsh smell.
It's fight or flight.
Have you developed that, or does it stink every time?
Yeah, every time. It stinks every time.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're not tough enough, man. You
yeah,
gotta tough it up.
yeah.
You're not tough enough.
I haven't been doing it that long. I was on the other. We have a dumpster side of the business and stuff too.
Oh, I like how you call it the other. I was on the
I've
other
been doing it for a long
side.
time, and then Yeah.
What
yeah,
made
no,
you go
they got
from
me over to the
food
dark side
waste?
now.
What made you go from food waste to used food waste?
Actually, I went into management and then decided that I would rather make money, so I went back to running a truck and ended up on that side of it. So.
Do you guys put the porta potties together like Legos? Are they stapled together? Like, how do they come flat packed like IKEA furniture?
No, we get them, already assembled. They're just all riveted together.
That's not efficient.
What?
I feel like they should come flat packed and you rivet them yourself.
What's the lifespan of
That's a great question.
a standard porta potty?
And can you get us one for the studio? Because I think it'd be cool to have one like in the corner of the room. No, we're not going to use it, dude. We're going to use it like we're going to put other things in there. Put a computer in there. Like all podcast studios are now kitschy now. Like even the Tiger Belly podcast, like they have a portalet in the background that like the hosts walk out of. It's like,
Oh. We will not get a portal.
I'm trying to bring us into the future. This
Nothing
guy's
good
like,
about
get to
them.
work. Just do hard-hitting news.
So, what's the standard lifespan of a regular porta potty?
Yeah, they last for a while. We have to dispose of some, pretty regularly. They get damaged or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they last as long as you keep, every time we bring one back to the yard, we pressure wash it and do any repairs that need to be done.
So even if it's covered in blood, like it's like you go inside that thing and it
You
looks
pressure wash it out
yeah,
there.
it's like Art the Clown was there. You just pressure.
We do have one or two in the back of the yard that we found dead bodies in. That they discourage us from putting those back out there. I guess.
Well, why not burn them or something? Why keep them there like as remembrance? Like, what do you do? Is that out of respect to the dead?
I don't know. I think we're just collecting them, maybe. I don't know.
Well, give us one of the ones that someone died in. That'll be free, right? Drop one of those by the studio.
I don't want that.
Just like you need a haunted porta potty.
Yeah, put it by the studio, and then we'll use it for our couch and the sofa races this year.
So, Justin, so you sleep in an RV in Rockville, then you wake up at 3:30 in the morning
You find a dead body in a porta potty.
to start pumping out doo-doo out of hundreds of Rockville porta potties, which I can imagine just based on the participants and the diet at Rockville and the alcohol, it's a horrible travesty.
What are you doing? What are you pushing? 5 hot dogs a day? You're eating 5 hot dogs a day.
And so, it brings, you mentioned it, but have you ever found someone inside at 3:30 in the morning? I'm sure there's a lot of...
Oh, Narcan.
yeah, like people that have passed out in there.
Yeah, that's funny. Funny you say that. We found like a bunch of Narcan inhalers in a couple of the toilets this year. But no, I think they do a pretty good job out there running everybody out. After the last show. So.
They bang on. Get the hell out of here! Hey, you! Get out of here! Finish up your Narcan!
There's better places to hide out than in the portal out there.
They're like, get out of here, Rob Zombie, finish your Narcan and get the hell out.
So Justin, anything that you ran into in particular at this year's Rockville pumping out the porta potties?
It's always the same stuff, man. It's, people throwing stuff in there and just opening the door and it's, a total disaster.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever found?
Yeah, is there anything?
Yeah, because this doesn't sound very weird. This is a pretty straightforward job.
Because some Narcan things, some cell phone hold, it's pretty. I would have guessed some of these.
Yeah. I think I could get this bingo card.
Some chains from a chain wallet. There's got to be some of those in there.
There's going to be some sort of vomited Megadeth shirt in there.
A one van slip on.
You pretty much covered it. I mean, you find countless, pairs of underwear in the toilets and.
Oh yeah. Well, underwear in the toilet. Which underwear do you find mostly? Men's underwear or ladies' underwear?
Honestly, I think dudes.
Yeah,
more
I agree because they poop their pants more.
So
they're gross.
So Justin, you've described what I mean.
This might be the low point of the segment.
Most of us could think of the worst job in the world,
and the worst location of the world. Like it's like worst job at worst location.
So,
it's like porta potty where? Porta potty at Rockville.
So before we ask you what you get paid, Can you tell me anything good about this job?
Yeah.
Because getting up at 3:30 in the morning, like
Do you like your boss?
honestly, you know what? Like a morning radio DJ, like his
Has the same diet.
no, but.
Oh.
Like getting up at, like same thing with the morning news and stuff. Like the worst part about that job is the fact that you have to get up so early.
Oh, and when you got to go to bed.
Yeah. So like that is horrible, getting up at 3:30 in the morning. So, and then what you're doing is horrible. So is there any redeeming aspect of this job? Do you get off early? Is there like, the boss is not hassling you?
Do you get all the Pacifico beer you can drink?
Can you listen to podcasts the whole day? That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good part. Well, the events are a little bit different than like everyday, operation. Some events there's nothing good about, like Rockville. There's pretty much nothing good about working at Rockville. When we get done with all those portalets, we have to do campers too. So we're out there all day, on the asphalt with pumping out campers too. So
God.
In the heat,
God.
manual labor.
1,000 degrees,
So much doo-doo spilled everywhere.
So yeah, when it comes to events, there's not always a silver lining. Regular operations, day to day it's not so bad really. I mean, it's you kind of doing your thing as long as you're just like any other route based business.
Yeah. You drop them off, you take them here, you drop them, pick them up. Yeah, like one for a church would be great, because you know that the softball team or those old Mimas, they're only use a couple little squirts here and there. That's fine. Like they're not even using it. But Rockville, Tom's right. It's all about volume.
Man.
Have you ever had one? This is my last question. Yeah, go ahead.
The redeeming part of Rockville is just the people watching, man. It's you guys know.
It's magnifique.
Something else, man.
Yeah, people watching that.
Thursday, people are lined up to go in, and it's 100 degrees. Everybody's wearing black, and they're
you got to stay true to the metal. You got to stay true to the metal.
And then when you see them, when you see them waiting on Friday to go in, they're lobster red, and
because rock and roll doesn't know temperature. You idiot. Rock and roll doesn't know that.
So Justin, how much do you make for this job? Like, you make extra for events? Like, tell me your pay.
Well, my last question, just real quick before you say that.
Right.
Have you ever seen one filled to the brim?
Oh, every event.
So they get to the top? Like, it gets to the tip?
For us, Florida, Georgia, in Jacksonville is, probably the highest volume event that we do.
So the
Florida Georgia line, the band?
No, they broke up. They hate each other now. Florida hates Georgia and Georgia hates Florida.
The Florida-Georgia football game.
Yeah, they've been taking shots against each other in songs, almost like Drake and Kendrick.
Every single portal at Florida, Georgia, the morning, Saturday morning is overflowing.
Like, I would want to, and this makes me a bad person, but I would want to get there and be the last pee on the top. I think I would just to say I did it, because I've never seen them that high. I didn't know they could get that high. I thought there'd be too many holes on the side. Like it would break open or something,
It'll spill right out on your shoes, man.
Wow, that's amazing. You learn something every day.
What do you make, Justin?
So, I'd say our guys average make, we do pretty well. And when we do events, you get your per diem and all that stuff, and you get a little extra, and you get extra overtime. So, I think a regular, probably make about 70.
All right.
Okay, maybe a little better. You surprised me.
Guys that do events and stuff, they probably. I mean, I've been here for a long time, and so my rate's a little higher probably. But
sure.
These guys are probably making 60, 65.
Okay,
that does make it better.
Basis.
That does make it.
At least they're making a decent amount for putting up with everything they put up with, man. Our guys work hard, man.
Yeah, I bet.
And obviously it's not a glamorous deal.
More money than I made in terrestrial radio.
That's true. That's true. Same amount of BS.
Although in terrestrial radio, I just had to sit down and make fun of fat guys. And then I got free barbecue. It's pretty easy.
You're probably making fun of the same fat guys at Rockville.
And I was out the door by 1 p.m.
At Wing House, drunk.
Yeah. Well, Justin, you're doing the Lord's work, pumping out the porta potties at Rockville.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, thanks for the time today. We appreciate you telling us about that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I look forward to seeing Tom out there with Tommy next year when he goes out to see Tenacious D or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, if they go to see Tenacious D, I'm tagging along. I'm going to sing along. I'll be the one out there singing with Tommy.
I'll leave one for you.
Yeah, we'll leave a couple deuces for you.
Yeah.
I'll leave you a number 4.
Yeah. And I'll put some rocks in my pocket and put those down there, too.
What do you want? I'll put something you want in there. I'll leave you a note.
I'll put a big Nerf ball so I get stuck in the suction hose. All right, dude.
See you later.
See ya. All right.
Bye.
Well, that sounds like the worst job I could possibly think of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like nothing worse.
We didn't even get into the fact that, what do you wear when you're doing that?
Like, I'd rather be a roofer. Because you're dealing with shingles, and then at least you get to talk with your friends.
There is a play
you
here.
look down the...
Okay, follow me here. There's a play here, and I know we got to go to break, but there's a play here where you're a metalhead. You love all of the Rockville bands. You know you can't afford that $150 ticket. You make decent money. You make $65 doing this, right? So you beg to get on the crew so you can do it. You make decent money, but you also got a couple of kids, right? And they don't want for anything, but you give most of the money to them. This is the person I'm creating.
I guess
in my
when
mind.
you get done pumping, you could go watch a band.
Yeah,
I bet, or does the company you don't get the it may be so cheap that the Rockville promoters you're
keep pumping.
Your doo-doo guys can't get general admission. Maybe they don't let them.
We don't want them standing with the crowd. The crowd.
No, but maybe they're just they didn't pay for a ticket. They can't enjoy the concert. Maybe there are companies like that.
Oh well, I wouldn't pump the doo-doo. Yeah, there are. We're one of those companies. If you start pumping the doo-doo at our beer fest, I don't allow. They're like, give me a beer. I'm like, you keep pumping, Javier. I got no time for you, man. We're running a big shot radio podcast over here. I don't need you even talking to me.
All right, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we got some fringe guests.
We do
to talk about some fringe shows coming up.
I scared them till I ran out there, and I'm like,
they're listening to us talk about this.
Yeah, did you see me on the camera? I ran out there. I was like, hey, everything, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? How's it going? I stopped recording. We're good now. But you're still on Twitch and YouTube, though, just so you know. Come on in.
I'm excited to follow up shitters and
Yeah.
Hey, poo-poo.
It's always a good time.
Good to see you guys. Where's this goatee? That last one?
That's Wednesday 1. and
we're changing out the
we're gonna change.
1B.
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of acoustics are in a porta potty.
Yeah.
You're still gonna be able to hear the show, but what's that sound quality like?
Yeah. That's a rough job.
Yep.
Pumping out porta potties.
And there's headphones behind you if you want them, or to the side there. Yeah, there's some there. And whatever number's on your headphones will be you. And let me see if I got my... Oh, yeah, that looks way better than yesterday. This is great. Oh, I love your dress, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
But on the left is something my wife would wear, like flowers, all the flowers.
We're both wearing all the
flowers. Oh, yeah, you guys are both. Both of those are Andrea approved, I feel like.
Your wife sounds lovely.
She's pretty sweet. I like her when she's not being a bitch. I'm joking around. All right, as you can tell, we're a very serious show. We're very, no laughs here.
Well, I'm sure we're also very serious people.
Well, that's why we like the fringe people, because you guys are weird and you kind of fit in with us. I'll speak for me. I don't think he likes to classify himself as weird, but I'm super weird. So when you guys come around, I'm like, so much nicer to have the weird people here that know how to perform and laugh.
I don't think any one of our listeners or anybody who knows me would say that I'm a normal person.
Well, you've overshared. Overshared. Can you guys hear okay? Can you hear yourselves okay?
There's some normal people out there.
What is that, though? What is that?
Melanie and Joanne.
Boring?
Joanna?
Boring.
Joanna Ranelli.
Joanna Ranelli, Melanie Bailey.
There are people, it's hard to find, and in fact, the normal people are the more rare, but there are people that are out there that regular boring job, haven't real,
they're actuaries. Yeah, I was just going to tell you an actuary. That's definitely something that, not porta potty pumpers or performers.
I have an actuary friend who's pretty amazing.
Oh, you do? Oh, I need to ask him about some gambling advice. Yeah.
Really?
It's a woman.
Oh, really?
And she gets fucked up.
I've also noted nurses.
Partying?
Has anyone also noted nurses? I have known so many nurses.
We're supposed to have a nurse on today. But she had to cancel. School nurse, though.
They're usually smokers.
A lot of them were. Mine was.
Yeah, nurses like
I'm
to party.
47, so I'm probably the eldest here.
I'm 23.
Feeling
Well, they're
you
probably
look
like,
21.
what the hell? I'm going to die anyway.
It's
Look
your
at this.
glasses.
Yeah, but
Let's get it while we can.
all of my teachers smoked back in the day. Okay, you ready to do this, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do French. Do you want to start?
Is it Ranelli?
That's me.
Okay, yeah. Ranelli.
Joanna Ranelli?
and Bailey.
Melanie Bailey?
Really?
Did I get it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
An Italian in the house.
Ranelli. 3,
I'll give you a meatball.
2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Of course, Fringe is going on currently right now.
Love me some Fringe Festival.
And if you haven't seen Fringe, I mean, we've had Fringe guests on for years now.
Yeah, it's like our 6th or 7th year, but it's the most unique to me. It's the most unique live performance festival you will ever go to. And if you're also like me, I think live performance is the only performance because it's true. You can fail. It can morph into something else. You have to think on your feet. Something can happen. People can forget things. The human on the stage isn't CGI'd. There's no airbrushing going on. So I'm very big on the idea of like it's just humans in the audience watching humans on the stage.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty cool.
And all the money goes to the performers.
Some would say
which-
that's the most important part is that they can feed themselves and not be taken advantage of by corporations like they normally are.
yeah. Which is super unique, and you know that you're supporting the performers that are performing for you.
Yeah,
so,
that's why you got to get the button and the ticket. So make sure you get both.
So we've got 2 Fringe performers
Yes,
on
we
the
doubled
couch
up.
with us.
Brian got us with the double up.
Joanna Ranelli is on the couch with us. How you doing, Joanna?
I'm good.
And Melanie Bailey. How you doing, Melanie?
Lovely.
Thank you for being here, guys.
So who wants to go first?
Yeah, this is how we did it last year. We're like,
I really like to be second.
All
okay,
right, so
I like that. I like that.
That's perfect because so
That's
one
how they
of-
do it in rap battles, right? They're like, no, I'll defer to you.
Yeah.
The cipher.
So, Melanie, let's talk about your show. Historical Hotties, A Voyage into Herstory. So tell us about the show.
Yeah, so what's funny enough is that it's great transition because this show was conceptualized after last Fringe Festival with a bunch of artists on the lawn from all over the country. We're having a few drinks and we're like, wouldn't it be great if we made a story about the best women at all time? And that's essentially what happened. So Miss Joanna Ranelli, I met her from Vancouver as a traveling performer last year. And her show last year impressed me so much. I fell in love with her. I begged her to come back to Orlando to be in Historical Hotties.
Okay.
And she brought her show as well. So it's a good transition. But
Awesome.
Historical Hotties is a drag burlesque cabaret.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a character named Catherine who's struggling with her confidence and women's rights issues, especially here in Florida.
Okay.
And
No problems here.
It's lovely.
I didn't see any.
Yeah. I figured you wouldn't. It's fine.
You're from
yeah.
Vancouver,
Yeah,
love.
have some
I'm
boiled
from Canada.
peanuts.
It's the same, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost identical.
Yeah, I feel at home.
Well, anyway, she is awoken by the spirit of boss bitches who introduces her to 9 different women throughout history. We
Okay.
start early with like Queen Nefertiti, Eleanor of Aquitaine. We've got some unknown women like Andre Burrell. Close it up with Marsha P. Johnson and Gloria Steinem because we want to celebrate all women, inclusivity of everything. And that's why we included drag, we included burlesque, we included vocal numbers, because it really is a celebration of the community that Fringe brings, which is something you kind of talked about, is this amazing festival. And it has a way to bring people together in these beautiful ways.
Well, I mean, I think it's cool that you guys, like, was it that your first time meeting? You just met a year ago, and then you hit it off. And then, because, like, I know Tom and I, like, obviously we're writing partners and whatnot, but to click with somebody that you think that you can possibly work with or perform with later, I mean, how do you do that with distance? How do you do that when you're very far
a challenge.
away? Yeah.
So one of our cast members is from Washington. One of our cast members is from Vancouver. Our producer is in New Jersey, who's my best friend that I grew up with.
Very cool.
And literally, I just took performers that I had met over the years that I loved in their individual art forms, and I asked them to come on stage. So I know that this is going to be the best show ever for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the best show show ever for you because you can't go wrong with drag and the ladies, if you know what I mean.
You got everything.
Yeah.
A little something for all.
So I'm curious to how you picked the women throughout history that you were going to focus on, because some of the names I'm not familiar with, and so they're like, I'm not a historian.
So it's very difficult for you and I to. Normally, we don't even notice women.
Well, don't worry. There are plenty of other parts for you to notice while you're there.
Right, exactly.
We're just smelling the flowers.
Yeah. I mean, normally I'm just dancing through my white male life.
It's an easy dance. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
It's so easy.
Yeah, it's one step forward and one step back.
I want to try that.
Yeah. I never get hassled by cops. Everybody's just giving me raises wherever I
money
go.
from the sky.
We're throwing tickets at you. Please.
There's no ceiling. Literally, I can go as high as I want.
How do you decide, though, like when you're going through? Because, of course, you want to hit some people that people know, because I would think that that's important because that draws people in. But then you want to educate some people and pick some people and, like, give some surprises. So how do you find the reveals in that?
It was really interesting to pick the individual characters. So one of the core principles I have in all my works is that inclusivity and diversity is extremely important to me. So I wanted to find a diverse enough, because obviously we can only have so many characters and people in the cast.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to find diverse people from to the past to the present. So what I did was I literally figured out which performers I wanted to have as part of the show, individual things, and then found characters that I thought matched individually what they do, women throughout history, and literally wrote these characters for their specific performers and to portray them in history. So it was challenging. We did a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of planning, but I think what was one of the things that's most important and what makes our show stand out so much is that every single performer created their own vignette and number.
Oh, that's cool.
So the art you're seeing from every single performer is their own art that they're bringing to the table.
There's like a goal for individual aspect to
exactly.
that's neat.
And that's what I wanted to do, was let all these performers shine in their best ways, because I know what they can do. I've seen them do it. To be able to give them the opportunity to do so, I've just provided all the bones and the framework for everyone to shine, which is literally my passion. So I wanted to make sure we hit characters that people didn't know, that were a little more serious, that had some more gravitas, but still, like Marsha P. Johnson is one of the characters in our show, which if your listeners don't know, and a lot of people don't, she's actually the mother of the Pride movement. So she is the one that was responsible for, or one of people that was responsible for the Stonewall riots in 1968. So, and she's such an important character. And as we all know, Black trans women are extremely marginalized, probably the most marginalized community we have here in America. So it was really important for me, being a queer person myself, to highlight all women. So finding women of different walks of life from different parts of the world was something we really strove to do as well.
And when you look back on how different times were 30 years, 50 years, you start like in history, you're like, oh my God, what these people went through and the adversity they had to, go through is insane. Like, and I forget, I think everybody does, so like in current day times, and which is still happening, but it's like, I was talking to my mother-in-law, a while ago.
Are you setting up a vaudeville joke?
No. But she told me, she's like, I wasn't allowed to have a credit card when I was in my 20s.
Some women.
It wasn't until the mid 70s that women were allowed to have credit cards without their husband's permission. It's crazy.
My wife doesn't let me have a credit card without her. No, that's true. I don't have any control of my finances. I'm under a conservatorship now because I'm really bad.
Did you bring him an alpaca one day or something?
No, but I won't. No,
what
but
nonsense?
I buy silly motorcycles and funny things.
What's
toys.
the weirdest thing you've bought in the last 2 months?
Musical spoons.
Oh my gosh, I need to see that.
Yeah, well, I usually have them here, but they're
bring them to our show. We'll add you. We'll have a spoony intro.
That's true. My French people actually support my weirdness.
Yeah, why not? That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
But what about the ladies that can't even pump their own gas or weren't allowed to drive?
No,
I know. Did anybody have that grandma that never knew how to drive, and then the dad would...
Mine.
Your
No,
grandma,
really?
yeah. I don't think that's that many generations back that there were women that don't even know how to drive.
Yeah.
They don't if they were stranded.
Yeah,
they'd be like, I got nothing.
Yeah,
But she could
it's
ride
insane.
a horse.
Which is way cooler.
Really well.
Yeah, in all fairness, I cannot ride a horse.
Way more
Like-
dangerous and crazier.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
she was in 4-H club and shit. Like, that's intense.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Wow.
And so, how long's the show, and where can people get
Yeah,
tickets?
great question. So it's at the Brown venue, which is actually right at the Orlando Shakespeare Center, which most people know, right in the middle of Lock Haven Park. Our first show is tonight, which is
Okay.
really exciting at 8:55. We have 7 shows. You can find us on social media, Historical Hotties Orlando. The Orlando Fringe has a ticket page, and we'd absolutely love to see you, show you how hot history can be.
I love
Awesome. Well, Joanna, I know your show is called Bangs, Bobs, and Banter.
Well, these are all
Confessions
things
of a
you wouldn't
Hairstylist.
know. You probably don't know what bangs are. You don't know
I
what
know
a bob
Bangs.
is,
No,
do you?
yeah. I used to have the Stooge. It was
He did.
ultimate Bangs.
His haircut before he has really good hair, and his grandfather had really good hair. And like you come from a long man, I think, with like the really
You
good
have
swoopy
really
do.
great hair.
Yeah, he's a good swoopy do. But
Yeah.
for the longest time, he had a haircut that we used to call it the muffalata, like the sandwich. It looked like a muffalata sandwich, and then it eventually
like a
just
cartoon giant.
It looked like the cartoon giant, you know, like I love him,
Japanese
and
beanstalk,
you know, like
or
Mice
slow.
and Me. He's the Mice and Me.
This is a lot of talk about hair for a man who's currently wearing a hat.
Yeah,
Not
well,
showing
I
his
know
hair,
the
so-
things. It's just today I wanted to rock my Black Magic Pizza hat that my wife bought me. But yeah, I know the things. But then finally you got a good haircut like this. Look at this. He's a good hair.
Looking sharp.
Yeah, man.
Joanna, tell us about this particular show.
Yeah, so I started creating this. I'm not a stylist, and it's really funny because yesterday someone thought I was, and they were like, I was just gonna ask, could you give my hair cut? Like another fringe artist wanted a haircut, and I was like, you don't want
Oh,
me to
you
do
should have
that.
just leaned in.
I know, but I really like them.
Oh, gotcha. It's a dangerous
They're
yes
really
and.
great. They're a really
Yeah.
great person.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I came off the wait list for Orlando, and so I was originally going to perform this in July, and so when I started writing it, I have a really good hairstylist. It's one of my best friends, and she's like, what would make a really great show, Joanna? A hairstylist. You've been around here for years. Like I've known her for 14 years and
Yeah.
seen a lot happen. And so that's kind of how it started happening. I started interviewing her and talking to her, and all the stories. I play 10 characters in the show, and they're all inspired by true events. It doesn't mean that every single thing in there's happened.
Sure.
It's much different than the show I did last year. I did Private Parts of Secrets We Keep, which was my story told through secrets. It was a storytelling show, and now I'm like 10 characters and wigs and like.
I love wigs.
You know what? Like the hairstylist, the barber, like anybody who's cutting hair,
Tattoo artists sometimes.
they have adopted a secondary job, which is
Counselor?
Counselor, yeah,
That's
because
right.
a lot of people don't have
Yes.
therapists,
Straight
and they
mediator.
use
Yeah.
Yes.
they use a hairstylist as a therapist, and
Yeah.
they don't even know it.
You
And
do
they
it.
just are
You
dumb-
do it.
So for your
Just so you
listeners
know,
that
we have the same barber, and I'll use this as this time to make you uncomfortable.
Oh.
He tells me all your secrets.
No, he tells me all your secrets.
Oh.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
never
Then we're-
safe.
then we're
There's
even.
always someone like me that gets told.
Then we're even.
Yeah. I'm telling him fake secrets, so he tells you my
you're
fake
giving
secrets.
the Drake. You're doing the Drake.
So,
Kendrick in this argument. You fed me the fake information. You never had a daughter.
but it is a weird thing where people will divulge like
Oh, yeah.
super private
They'll be like snip, snip,
secrets.
like I'm gay.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
For your listeners that can't see me right now, I have bright purple hair.
I love
No.
it.
Now, the process to get your hair bright purple is not an easy process.
No.
So I'm spending about 3.5 hours
Yeah.
in a chair, frustrated, sitting there doing nothing for 3.5 hours. The things I have told my hairstylist, well, let's just say I pray they never write a show. 'Cause
Well,
if
they
do-
just did.
Damn it.
They just did, baby. And it's all out there.
Oh, wow, this is going to be good.
Yeah,
I can tell.
I mean, being honest, and John doesn't do that, but I would say that I have told my barber I've talked about something that like, hey, what do you think of this with my wife or me missing my parents? I'll be like, hey, this has got me down. I'm depressed. I mean, very vulnerable things. And I think I think the intimacy of sitting in the chair and having that person doing something to me that I know is going to make me look better, but there is a smidge of anxiety in getting the color or the cut right. I feel like it's very intimate. It's like sex.
They don't get compensated. Like when you go to a therapist, guess what? It is $90 copay. And they're charging your insurance. Like so, they're charging.
I don't even get a full. Mine's like 50 minutes. I'm like, how about you give me the 60?
Like $120 an hour, and then you're basically dumping all your baggage
out my wife
on your therapist or on your hairstylist, and then you're not compensating. You're just like, all right, bye bye. You leave, and you're like, you just dumped a bunch of harsh stuff on them.
Well,
it's crazy.
It was interesting because it's still the service industry. That was one of the things that came up a lot when I was writing this show is that my hairstylist was like, it's interesting. Like people treat me like I'm family. But I've never been invited to one family event. Never once. I cut their hair. I do their thing. I don't even know if they die. I only know if they die if they don't show back up to their next appointment. And it's interesting.
That's true. It's surface intimacy.
It is. And the other thing is that, if you don't serve, she's like, but I also know if I don't bend and serve and do the thing, they'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But there's a trust that gets built, and we trust this person. It's super intimate. They're touching us. They're doing all these things, and we give over to them. And it's easier for them to fill a chair than for us to find someone new.
It is funny too, like with lawyers, there's confidentiality, where a lawyer can't tell your bit legally. He cannot tell anything you tell your lawyer.
Do, though. I feel like they do.
Oh yeah, they do.
They 100% do.
I feel like they absolutely tell everything.
And then like priests have this thing.
Oh, I know they do. They're the worst.
They do.
Do you know what I didn't hear at work today, honey?
This is why they invented the pinky swear.
I remember this is. Do you remember the story? I was going to this preacher that at my mom's church. I remember I was going in for counseling, and then he was sharing what I was telling. Do you remember that?
No,
and was he Italian?
And then he ended up cheating on his wife. I'm like, this guy's, you're a horrible person. Why did I go to you? Why did I go to you for advice on me? You're a terrible person.
But the point I'm making is in society we have these a lawyer can't do this, the priest, the therapist, they can't tell you. Yeah. But the hairstylist, there's no agreement.
No.
And then, but we just as society have this agreement. I unload all my intimate secrets to this hairstylist, and they won't tell you.
They're more upstanding.
Well, that's why I always start with just between you and I.
Yeah,
right? That's a code of conduct.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
And every other person in the salon, because I'm really loud. It's not just them, it's every person.
You're right. Yeah.
And I was like, I might as well just get up and share it for everybody because they can all hear me. And my stylist swears a lot. And I'm like, it's not appropriate. We're in a really fancy part of downtown. And she's like, F this, F that. And I'm like, I'm into it. But there's also a clientele that she attracts.
Yes.
And that's the thing is and it is tough. She would do hair for people that she knows their partner's cheating and then finds out that one is. And it's an interesting, and she's got to keep all this stuff. And at the end of the day, what happens to them?
Yeah.
And I don't really reveal a lot of that in the show because at the end of the day, we don't know. That's the point.
Yeah. These people just leave your life, and then
and we leave it on them.
Yeah.
We just are like, you'll process that, like the hair dye, right?
Yeah.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That is right. I think my hairstylist was one of the first people I told that a man had sex or died while we were having sex, because I got my hair done 3 days after. Yeah, true story. Sorry, I see your faces. I talked about this in my show last year, which is a comedy storytelling dance show. And that's right. I put that in a comedy storytelling dance show.
Yeah.
My humor is lovely. Come see our show. But that I didn't realize it was just I was processing it myself, and I'm sitting there for 3 hours, and you're in your own thoughts, and before you know it, I'm talking about him with his dick out when the I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
With the paramedics there, and I'm like, oh wait, what just happened to me?
Hold
but the
on.
thing is, you share this with people, and you don't think about it, and then you're like, oh God, what did I just do?
All right, Melanie, I have to ask you.
This is why we love our French folks. They come by. They come by. They start talking to us.
Now we are broadcasting this eventually on terrestrial radio.
I wrote it down. We're good.
Which we don't really know what the rules are anymore. It's
No one
2024.
does. Nothing can be done. No one does.
I don't even know if there's anybody regulating this anymore.
We don't even know where this is going.
The government's too busy keeping the other rights down.
Oh,
It's fine.
That's what I thought. So anyway, tell us about it. So, did he die on top of him? I don't need all the details, but it was like, how did he just faint? And you're like, wake up!
I wanted to be like afterwards, where he's going to get a washcloth and he just like, falls over to the tub.
So here's the best version of the story I can get.
Was he an older gentleman?
No,
Okay.
he was 38 years old.
Oh my God, I'm
yeah.
47.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. So
Better stay on my Peloton.
So this is scandalous. Sorry, my previous employer. But we decided to have a little lunch date. And he came by my office. I know, I'm giving way too much about my life right now.
In your office? I've seen that. I search it. A boss. Sometimes I search boss.
And you clear the whole desk and then you put her on there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into great detail, but let's just say that's we can talk about that off air, but or not, please. But anyway, let's not. But we had just done something we definitely should have done in my office, and I say, hold on a second, I'm just gonna be right back. I go in literally the other room to grab something, and I go out, and there he is, still pants down, laying there. So obviously I'm like, what in the hell? I go down, I start doing CPR, I call 911 at the same time, right on the floor in front of my work desk.
Oh my God.
Not awkward at all. Still, pants off.
Did you put his pants
God.
Yeah, I was like,
No,
I think before I start CPR, I pull his pants up.
No, I did. See, I did not. When the paramedics came, they asked me where his pants were, and I manically tried to find them, which he had thrown somewhere.
He stuffed them in the drawer. He put them in the drawer.
Behind a bush. So it was behind like one of those work plastic trees. So I'm manically looking for his pants under the trees. And essentially he did not have the best time. And there I was, like Rose Nyland from the Golden Girls, if anybody's a Golden Girls fan.
Absolutely. Had them in last
trying
week.
to figure out how I just
And he died?
Yeah, he did. Actually,
Oh my
yeah.
God!
Wow.
It's sad, but the only consolation is that with this man, I am 1,000,000,000% confident that if he was gonna go, that was how he wanted to go.
Okay.
So
horny. He's horny like me.
absolute minimum.
He's a horny maniac like me.
Yeah.
I want to die having sex.
Yeah. So we can all have a little solace in that, you know?
Yeah. Man, that is the way to go. It's better than going in a Rockville porta-potty, I guess.
Apparently, I read somewhere that does trigger heart attacks. That action for whatever, like it releases some chemicals. Same thing with why people have heart attacks in the middle of the night, like at 3:30 in the morning. Your body releases something at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, he released something.
and it's similar to the sex thing, where it's like that can trigger.
How do you
heart attack.
recover from that? What do you? Did you go?
Do you
did you work out the rest of
re-traumatize?
the? Do you work the rest of your day
I
out?
slept with a lot of strangers after that, just to be like, no, I'm good, it's safe. No, but for real, no, it was a little crazy to process, obviously, because honestly, we had only been dating for like 3 weeks too. So what was really awkward is that his mom became very attached. She wanted to have me meet the whole family, and I'm like,
this is the woman that killed my hobby.
And I had to tell her.
Weird thing.
What's even worse is I had to tell her how he died. Which is
He was eating a lollipop. He was eating a lollipop outside. He fell over.
He was in my office for a business meeting. He was telling me how much he
told
loved
me the cure for
my
cancer,
mom.
and he died. He had the cure for cancer on the tip of his tongue.
So because they told her that he was having lunch.
You should have
And
just
I
said he was
told her
doing
he
his
was having
taxes.
lunch.
Like, who would want to die when they look at that?
That is fair.
Right?
My
You
heart rate
could
goes up
have
a
made
little bit.
something up.
Yeah, you could have.
No, but the thing is, they said, they told her at the hospital he had a highly escalated heart rate. And she goes, how is that possible? You were just having lunch.
No,
he eats fast. He eats like an animal.
Yeah. Hot sauce.
Eats.
I don't know.
man.
He's such a workaholic. He eats in like 3 minutes.
He was digesting a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, Melanie, Joanna,
You
once
guys
again,
are firecrackers, man. I love it.
Can I tell you when my show is next?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Please, gosh.
Yeah.
Please.
I promise no one's gonna die or anything's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you will laugh. It is a comedy. I'm in the Green Venue and I open tomorrow night at 9:35. And tickets tickets are only $6 for my
Okay. I
opening.
love it.
Oh
Awesome.
my gosh, what a deal.
Yeah.
I'll see Joanna. She's
So
amazing.
please come check that out. Come tonight to our show and then come again on Thursday.
Well, that's what you do. You get the button and you make it out to multiple shows.
Yes,
You don't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go to.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think anybody's supposed. You're not supposed to do one. You're supposed to do
That's
multiple
Yes.
the best
shows.
part of Fringe
Yes,
is that you can
please.
see so many things.
Yeah,
like
There's so many
a store
great
about
And plan some, but then don't plan some. Go there, and then something strikes your fancy. Just walk over to it if you can make it.
Orlando's one of the best festivals because people are amazing here. That's why I'm also back. And the artists are incredible. The patrons are incredible. But also, this is the first time most of us are putting up brand new shows. Like what you get to see here is like pretty unique.
Fresh stuff.
Yeah.
We're working it out. You're informing what we do next.
I like that.
You're really a part of it. And I care so much about the audience feedback. And so whatever happens here in Orlando, like I left my last show here and I won awards. Like things happen.
Yeah,
That's
there you
all.
go.
And I'm really excited to know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I'm scared shitless. We all kind of are. Sorry.
Nah,
I don't know if
you're
you're allowed to
fine.
swear. It's just a part of my language.
My-
But like it's what's next is like what will happen next for me will all determine on what gives back because this audience is really vocal and they like to tell me like what's up or how they're feeling. It's great. And
we
so I'm
hear that
looking
from most
forward
of
to-
our performers.
Yeah.
They say
Yeah.
that they like the coming to Orlando. They like that the audiences are like the energy level
Yeah.
seems to be very
I'm
high
friends
and
with patrons, like
That's
you know, and that recognized me and came up to me, and that was so awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in that communication tomorrow night
Love
between us and them.
I'm sure it's going to be great. Get
Yeah.
your
That
tickets,
community.
get
Yeah.
your buttons. Guys, thank you so much for
Thanks
the
for
time.
having
today.
us.
having
Yeah, no
us.
problem.
And we hope you do it again.
Thank
Guys, we're going to
you.
take a quick break, and we will be back right, baby.
Yeah, well, good sauce with Ross is next.
That's okay. Yeah, bye. Thank you for saving me.
No problem.
Sorry for swearing.
Oh, you're
No,
fine.
I'm sorry I said dick. Holy
No,
God.
you're fine. You're fine. I got it all written down.
I'm so sorry. I said
No,
dick.
no.
Where's that
Ross,
going to?
we
Is that-
that is Wednesday 2.
Thank you.
So Wednesday 1 and 2, you could put 2B.
So it's
these
really
are
funny is
Yeah.
one of my really good friends, Rick Curry.
Oh
And yeah, Rick and I have been friends for so many years.
right on.
So the other day I sent him a message and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be on Tom and Dan on Wednesday." But the actual message read, "Can I be on Tom and Dan Wednesday?" And he's like, "Well, I guess I can reach out." And I'm like, "No, it's not. No,
That's
no."
hilarious.
That's hilarious.
No, we
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being here.
No, thank you so much
Are you
for
gonna be
having
able
us.
to come out and see anything?
You know, I'm gonna try. I have plans to go see one of my friends' shows. To see Ross
who
Paget.
live in-
Ross Paget show with
Oh,
Joel.
Ross, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go
So
support
I'm
him, but
I'm
normally
actually-
I don't get out to anything
Well, I'm
because
an
it's.
improv and
if
stand-up
you-
comedian from New York.
if you-
That's
Oh,
like
right
my
on.
background.
So you
This
know
is the
him.
first play I've ever wrote.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so I've done stand-up stories. Last year I did a show. It's called Let's Get Weird Story Hour. I'm touring it this year.
Right on.
But I tell that story, but it's all partially improv, partially scripted comedy, storytelling, and dance. So I have an improv dancer that specializes in it, and we create stories based on items that audience bring into the show.
That's
So
cool.
I've had
I like that.
dildos, I've had breast pumps, I've had cans of tuna fills. Like, you have no idea what I've had. to
And you're
talk to my
creating
staff.
anything you can out of that.
6 to 7 minute story monologue
Damn.
and a matching 2.5 minute choreographed dance
I like that.
that we communicate with whiteboards backstage.
I like it. I
That's
like
fun.
it. Well, have a great performance, and
Yeah,
thanks
it
for
was so
coming
nice
in.
to meet you.
Very
Thank you
nice
so
meeting
much
you
for
too.
having us.
I am locked out of chat, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to say hi to you, but I'm locked out. Let's see if I can re-add this somehow. Fucking OBS, you pile of shit. Automatic switch.
They would love it.
Well, that is weird.
But we're trying to spark a conversation. I have to go there to be like, are you
We're probably going to
Look at that.
lunch now anyway, so I'll try to fix this while.
having us?
Yes, thank you so much.
See you guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks again for being here.
Oh, no, all good.
If y'all do end up wanting to come to the show, please reach out to Brian. I'll get you tickets.
You got it. Much
Absolutely,
appreciated.
100%, obviously, but
Thank you so much.
here anyway. The offer's still there. God damn it. Anytime I have a show.
Thank you very much.
See y'all. I'm locked out of chat, but I guess we got to go to lunch anyway, right?
Yeah, we'll go to lunch because now we got Thursday and Wednesday show done.
Oh, I was honest. Yeah, I said I can't go see him. I'm gonna try and see Ross's show.
But actually, before we
You want to do one more?
Well, we got to do Manscaped.
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot. So we'll do.
You want me to put it at the beginning somewhere?
No, what we'll do is we'll do.
Slide it in.
Let's do a small 15-minute voicemail segment.
Okay.
And we'll do it for Friday, and we'll just do Manscaped at the beginning, and that way Tracy can use it. And then when we come back, we'll just do Joel for the second part of Friday.
Okay.
And
that works for me. I wish I wasn't locked out of this right now. This kind of sucks, but whatever. That's what happens. Trying to get a little more. I'm trying to be. This is easy going, Dan. It's cool. It's fine. When things break, man, it's cool. Doesn't harsh my buzz, dog. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Chad. I can't see what you guys are saying, but those ladies were nice. I will say, though, if you caught it, like when the lady says, "Can I plug my show now?" I got uncomfortable for a split second. Puckered my butthole. I was like, we didn't mean to not let you plug your show. I thought we did. I felt bad. Do you need some help there? It should have a pull tab.
No.
Try the. You're trying to open the back, dog. Aren't you? Yeah. Where's the pull tab? Or did you already pull it?
Pull tab?
Yeah.
I just cut the tape.
There's no pull tab on it? Weird. You need a knife. All right, let me get these voicemails. Let me get this going. Thinking about killing this other camera angle too. I don't know if we need that. You guys call it the crotch cam, but it's supposed to be like more like where we are. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Let's put that on there. Put above the window? What window? Which window do you mean? Overhead? Yeah, we could probably put it overhead in the studio. It's not going to make that much. It's not going to change the way it looks that much, because if you guys could see it now, it is overhead, but I don't think it's going to change it that much if I run it up to... It's sort of a cheap camera, so we're limited with what we can do with it. It always gets bumped. The people hit it, or the aerial change, or the light will get fucked up or something. Okay, voicemails. Let me get these guys. I got some emails too. Voicemails and emails. Courtesy of Manscaped. Okay. I can bring us back.
This will be Friday, beginning of Friday show.
Okay. I'll start us. Here we go. In 3, 2. It is another A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Let's talk about Manscaped real quick.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
which one you got over there?
I have, this is...
Is that the Beard Hedger? Or what do you got?
Yeah, the Beard Hedger kit.
Okay,
right
that's perfect. The Beard Hedger,
at
one of
this.
the reasons why I like the Beard Hedger is it comes with like the little brush for your beard. It comes with a comb so you can trim it up. It comes with the travel case. And it comes with an awesome trimmer that has a little dial on it where you can change the guard. It's built into the actual shaver, and that's going to keep your beard looking great.
Yep.
But the lawnmower, if you get that lawnmower with the skin-safe technology, you can use that on your private areas. You will get zero irritation. It's got detachable heads. And again, do I have to scream it? Skin-safe technology is the only way to go to not just making a mess down there.
Listen, if you're looking for a Father's Day gift, this is the perfect one.
is.
And you could save 20% off.
Yep.
If you use promo code TOMANDDAN20, that gets you 20% off and free shipping worldwide. So it's manscaped.com.
Yeah.
Perfect Father's Day gift coming
Trim
up.
yourself up, whether it's your face or the other place. That's
Yeah.
Manscaped.
Yeah.
TOMANDDAN20 for 20% off.
All right, let's do some voicemail.
That's the best one we've ever done.
No, no.
That
I
one
know,
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
really,
yeah,
like we
yeah,
did it
yeah,
like
yeah.
really sophisticated. We sounded like
Yeah,
we're like take that Manscaped.
Yeah.
That's our-
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
we can do it good.
Yeah.
Let's try this one right here.
Hey everyone, I don't want to be all, oh, I'm just like Tom, but he just said something on the ACT. That is something that I say frequently, and I really take to heart.
Turn down your reggaeton, man. Jeez Louise, the bass is thumping me out of here. What am I going to Brava?
Is that there's nothing more valuable than my time. A couple years ago, I quit working full-time. I still work, but not full-time, and it allows me to go on like multiple vacations a year. I'm able to do things like ride my bike across the whole state of Florida, ride the Blue Ridge Parkway, and then also be competitive in triathlons because I stopped being a slave to someone else's clock. And
I can't take the bass anymore, but basically he says it's, you know, we've talked about this before about
it is the most valuable thing. I had a conversation with my buddy Andres the other day.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, Andres and Leanne.
trying to get him to ruin his life by
No.
like making a van and
Uh,
living a van life.
They both are teachers, really good teachers, by the way, and they do a good job. And but
They help a lot of kids.
But of course,
people.
as any teacher will know, and I'm pretty sure society knows, they're underpaid. And Andres, he's got a gift for gab, and he's
a good musician too. Great singer,
Yeah.
excellent drummer.
But he's good at talking to people, making friends, like everywhere he go, and he could be an awesome salesperson, right? Honestly, and he's done some work with like the venues down
Well,
there.
if he used his powers for evil, especially being from Miami, he'd
Yeah.
be rich as hell, dripping with gold.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's
So-
that guy, but he never did it for evil. He
he entertains the kids.
He could
like,
go solar in a heartbeat.
So he told me about that. We were hanging out and on the boat. He's like, man, sometimes I wish I could make more money, or I think
Yeah.
like I should be making
He
more
could
money.
be the next cuckoo kangaroo.
But every year, and it's about to happen this year, they do their summer family vacation, and since they're both teachers, they get 2 months off for the summer.
And they always hashtag it. And
And
it's
then,
awesome.
yeah. And then so they spend so much time going to like visiting friends, staying at a house, and they basically fill up their whole summer with adventures and
Crazy
fun
travel,
stuff,
yeah.
travel and
It's
stuff.
cool.
And I told them, I was like, dude, what you have, like I'm jealous of it, and I'm sure a lot of people are like you and your wife and get to go with your kids every summer and take the summer off and go 2 months straight doing fun stuff with your kids.
Just cool adventures.
And I'm like, that is worth more amount of money than anything I could possibly think of. You will look back at that and value this time more than any amount of money you could possibly make.
There's truth in that. Like my mother was a lifelong educator, and one of the reasons why she never gave it up was because she would get nothing but, I mean, it used to be more time. There were times when it was almost in upwards of almost 3 months of time she got with me and Dad. And my dad, what he would do, I mean, you're not saying something crazy.
Yeah.
My dad would relocate, right? So what he would do during the summer is he would take our camper, because we were just as Florida as the vans with their pop-up, and then we moved up to a bigger camper. So we had a sun line, I think not huge, like a 20 feet, like small. but it was a full enclosed one. He'd take it up to Beverly Beach. My mom would live there for the time out of school. I would surf all the time, and my dad would use that as his spot, commute. He'd work. And we would just live at the beach, and it was amazing. Like, it was amazing having all those memories all those stories I tell you, all those friends that I had, it's all wrapped into that.
And they also, he was telling me, we get 2 weeks off for winter break, and for Christmas.
Sure.
We get a week off for
retail.
For Thanksgiving now. You get a week off for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for Christmas, a week for spring break, and 2 months for the summer. And I'm like, even if you made $150,000 or $200,000 a year as a salesperson, but you had to work, normal, like, you're busting your ass, so you're working like 50 hours a week and working at home and stuff. I'm like, that isn't worth the sacrifice of giving this up. Like, this time with your family, when your family gets older and your kids are
your priority shift.
In college or whatever, then maybe
they're not going to have the time to spend with you anyway.
Then maybe then you can make an argument. But this time with young kids, I'm like, you got it good. Don't think about the money you're missing out on or whatever. Like, you have a great opportunity to do something that a lot of people can't do, which is spend a lot of time with your family doing cool stuff. Yeah. And that's more valuable than anything I could possibly think of.
Now, what if you talked him out of being the next cuckoo kangaroo? Like, what if you talked him out of what his true calling is? He's going to be on the internet. He's doing educational videos for children. They love him. And
also, it's like, time is the most valuable thing anybody could have. And that's why no one, you got to factor that into whatever decisions you make in life.
I think there has to be an element of organization here, though, right? Like, I don't think, because what you're saying sounds very romantic to everybody, right? It sounds like, I'm going to take this time and I'm only going to spend time with my family. But there are people that are so disorganized that life is an impossibility for them.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's different. Some people don't want to spend time with their families. Not everybody's the same.
Yeah,
so
not
whatever.
Everybody's family's great either. So.
And then, but still, no matter what, having time, like, if you're going to choose to work a standard 40 hours a week and go in, or
this is what we're seeing, right? In the world is a ginormous labor shift.
Or make $20,000 less and work from home. It's more valuable to work from home, even with that $20,000. Yeah. And I know that's coming from me. I don't know your financial situation, but I'm saying with that now freedom, you can make that up or make it up in life happiness,
right?
Or experience,
I agree
or
with you.
And so, like, to me, and I understand, like, sometimes you're a grind to the dollar, and you need every dollar. People are struggling, but if you could figure, like, if you, I guess, align
you're saying what I'm
your mind to be like, hey, time is the most valuable thing.
What you're saying, my point is, like, you would have to spend some more. You're gonna have to put some thought.
Oh,
into this. It's not like you just so I did this and now I have this time with my family. It's like, think this out, make sure it's planned and organized, and make sure you're making the correct decision.
I've thought about that even with us, and like, because
I'm going to be the next cuckoo kangaroo.
Well, there was a while like that when we were building this company that I was in the mindset of, like, the goal is to make the most amount of money, right? Like, that's always
that's never been the goal.
If I'm on the business side of things, like, my job is to make this company the most amount of money we could possibly make, and that should be the goal of any capitalistic business, right? Or this is a business.
Yeah.
So, but there was a while ago I started to, like, and then it was kind of burning myself out or whatever. Like, we were
arguing a little bit more,
and just like, because that was the goal. And then I was like, wait a minute, let me reframe this goal here. And the goal should be to maximize not only the enjoyment of this job,
right,
but the amount of time that we can schedule in for ourselves and our families. Because this is the only job we work for ourselves that we can make it what we want it to be.
Like, make it easy.
Don't make it a job that
you don't have to make it where you came from. Make it exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It's your clay.
Yeah. iHeartMedia's their goal, and they have shareholders, like their corporation goal is to make as much money as possible. Yeah. Don't turn us into that.
Yeah.
Like, we can have a different goal. Our
so
goal
basically
could be
what you're
happy.
saying is check your goal.
Yeah. The
Before
goal to
you
this job.
start, because our goal, we came from radio, we came from iHeart, right? So
Yeah.
we came from that, and what had we been taught? Like, this was the goal.
Yeah.
All you're saying is, hey, before you start this, reframe your goal and make sure that, it's the same, because it might change year to year. It could change every 6 months.
And our goal has always been like, okay, serve the listeners the best way we can, right? Try to provide the best
I never
content.
said that. I've never said that.
And make people laugh, right? And then also serve the clients that advertise with us the best way we can, and try to make sure that they benefit, the most possible for spending money with us, right? And then the BDMs serve the BDMs or whatever. And then, but we can do that and also live great, happy lives. We could do all that and then if the goal isn't to make them,
nothing's gonna make my life great and happy because I am a depressed person. but I see what you're saying.
But if the goal is to make as much money as possible, then guess what? Our life happiness goes down.
Right.
The listener experience goes down.
It's just like a character in any video game. If you're going to make him the strongest, he's going to be dumb.
Yeah, and then us like making the advertisers as happy as possible goes down because the goal is to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
So something's got to give.
Yeah.
But if the money isn't the goal, then honestly everybody could be happy, including us.
Yeah.
And because
I'm pretty happy right now.
What's a $50,000 or $100,000 more a year really? Is like, okay.
I would be able to get a couple more Westies.
Yeah. But
I've been telling Andrew I got to have 2 more dogs.
But what's the price of that? The price of that is unhappiness, stress.
About $12,000.
Everybody's enjoyment of the show goes down a little bit. The advertisers are like, we're paying a lot for what we. You know what I'm saying?
If
like
the advertisers' value go down, that's a problem too. Yeah, there's so many sliding scales, so many factors.
But you could dance and make them happy enough to keep giving you the money, but that's extra work that you spend time away from your family.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
takes
saying?
away from another slider.
And then at the end of and I look at it at the end of your life. Are you going to look back and be like, I'm glad I made that extra $100,000? Or are you going to be like, I wish I would have hung out with my kids more or my family or done more trips or seen more or whatever.
Doesn't matter now, I'm dead.
Yeah. You always are going to look back and wish that you hung out with your family.
You'll forever go to time and family, always.
Yeah.
So friends, family. Well, you may not have family or your family's not that good. But yes, using that, it's always going to come back to what's the most genuine. To me, it's always happy and funny.
Yeah.
Like I always come back to laughing, smiling, joking. That's why I always do jokes.
Yeah.
I really do. The root of me always coming back to that is because I just like making you laugh. I'm very simple, extremely simple.
And what I'm saying has to be the truth in my mind.
You just figured out the meaning of life.
But it has to be objectively the way you have to look at it, because I cannot believe that you'll be at the end of your life happy that you are dying with like a lot of money in the bank or whatever, and then you're going to like, I'm glad that I didn't hang out with my family or I did work and I made as much money.
That's the great fallacy. There's never been that man.
I don't think,
Even those men you think they are, because we've known plenty of people that you've heard us use the term gay for business, and we've talked about.
Well, they're addicted to it.
Yeah, we know they're addicted to it, but again, I'm telling you, it's a fallacy. When they get to the end of their life, if you really nail them down and you could sneak into their brain and tell them, they'd go like, no, it was all.
I would have probably done it differently.
I would have always done it differently. Let's keep moving here. Let's try this one right here. This is about peacocks.
Tom and Dan. Jim from Lakeland here. On a recent ACT, you guys were talking with Ross McCoy about what a peacock will eat, and you determined rightly they'll eat just about anything they can fit in their mouth. But that took me back to the early years of my marriage. My wife and I, we were flat broke, no money to be had. So we jumped at the chance to get buy one, get one free tickets to Gatorland. Now, once you're in Gatorland, you can buy hot dogs to feed to the alligators. But we were so broke, instead we stopped at a store on the way and got Winn-Dixie's finest bar S. Franks and snuck them into the park to feed to the alligators. Once we got there, we found out that the tickets were BOGO because it was February, it was 45 degrees outside, and all of the alligators were hibernating. So we bounced hot dogs off of alligators' heads for a few minutes and then gave up on that. But we did see that there was a peacock following us around. So I pinched off a little bit of a hot dog, threw it to the peacock, and he ate it. So I fed him some more, fed him some more. So I'm sitting there gorging a peacock on hot dogs when an employee of the park, a lady was probably 80 years old and 81 pounds, came up and started dressing me down like I was a child. Everybody in the park heard about what a big fat idiot I was for trying to feed hot dogs to a peacock, and she literally marched me over to the tilapia pond and made me dump out my hot dogs. My wife had long abandoned me by then, but that's about the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me in public in
cut out.
Jim,
Wow, Jim,
what are you
Jim,
doing?
what are you're a maniac, man. Like, you're out of control.
Sneaking hot dogs in.
Embarrassing your wife at Gatorland. We got asked to go out to Gatorland. It's Gatorland's 75th anniversary, but I don't think we can make it.
Wow, 75 years?
I think they're doing 75 years. All the Swix is going to be out there. All the influencers are out there.
No, okay, yeah.
It's going to be a big party, man. Savannah invited us. I think we already have prior engagements and we can't make it, but that's something certainly to be proud. 75 freaking years of doing that is amazing.
Well, also they've gotten better. Like, you would think in a day and age where you're competing against so many different attractions and there's so much stuff to do now more than ever. Like, you look in your phone and you could type in 10 things to do right now and it will show you 10 awesome things going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of competition, and Gatorland has seemed to grow into it and still remain relevant.
I think because they leaned
part of
in.
it, Savannah's influence, she has a huge social media influence,
and I think she's helped them lean into their Florida. And what I mean by that is when everybody else was kind of like we're not like this. I gotta feel like Gatorland's been like, hell yeah, come on down. Like, they've kind of they know that you can still appreciate the wonderful and southern ways of Florida. And keep it, tongue in cheek and make it fun. Without it being like, oh, look at these hillbillies. Like, they keep it fun.
And especially for anybody who hasn't had that much experience with gators, like, they do a good job. But the thing of me personally, I've seen so many gators, and I've walked across the pond at Gatorland. I've done a lot of I've wrestled gators.
You should be like a brand ambassador for them.
I've
you should
caught gators,
Gator Tom.
Swam with gators.
Are you one with the gators now?
They're kind of.
Should you wear a gator? You should wear a gator, dude. You should wear a gator tooth necklace. You should make that your bit, and you stop wearing a shirt. If I get you, because you're in good shape now. If I get you a gator tooth necklace,
like Manny from Jackass,
will you grow your hair out again?
No, I will not.
Come on.
But gators to me are like raccoons. Like
they don't scare. Yeah, you and I've been around a lot of gators.
I'm fascinated by them. It's like, oh, there's a gator, there's a raccoon.
Well, people say that
there's
to me.
There's a rat.
They say that to me, and you and I've been around a lot of gators, but they'll be like, Daniel, you're afraid of gators, aren't you? And I'm like, no, that's flying. They're like, why aren't you afraid of gators? I'm like, you don't get to pick and choose what you're afraid of.
Yeah. People don't understand fear.
Yeah, they don't understand irrationality or any of that. They're like, well, why planes are safe, gators are crazy. I'm like, I'll stand next to you. If you gave me the choice right now of getting on a Boeing or putting my hand on a gator's head, I'll take the gator head all day long.
Yeah.
Every day.
I wonder what the statistics are between, like, gator fatality and plane fatality. It's got to be close because it's so
I'm going to go more
rare.
Planes because the little ones are going to drive out the average.
You're right. Yeah.
All these knucklehead NASCAR drivers, they get in little planes. Like,
yeah. There's not a lot of little plane accidents.
Yeah, I mean, I think that drives the average up. Now, if you're talking airline jet, I don't think that happens.
Yeah. But gator deaths or fatalities don't really happen either.
No, they do not.
Some attacks and stuff, and of course, like some of the more famous ones. But it's where, like,
has a famous person? You said famous ones. This is why I'm going with this. Has a famous person ever been attacked by an alligator?
Well, not, but like they were maybe messing with them, like the guy
like
from
a
Jackass,
celebrity,
like Manny,
like
from
a
Jackass.
celebrity. I mean,
no.
You don't think so?
No. Unless it's like a member of Jackass and they're effing around with them at a Gatorland and they get bit. But it's
ChatGPT.
They're scared of you. Although now because everybody has cell phones, you seen there's a cell phone video of a guy swimming across a lake, and a gator hauls ass
Fast, yeah.
fast.
You're on the wrong turf.
And then like it I think it like bit his arm, but it didn't like death roll or anything. It just kind of snapped at him. And
Here's what Hard Drive has to say about this.
Yes, a celebrity has been bitten by an alligator. The late Steve Irwin, known as the Crocodile Hunter, was famous for his close encounters with various wild animals, including alligators and crocodiles. While he handled these dangerous animals with expertise, there were occasions when he experienced bites. Irwin's adventurous spirit and expertise in wildlife conservation made him a beloved figure worldwide, though he tragically passed away in 2006 after being pierced in the chest by a stingray barb during a filming expedition.
You didn't need to tell me that part. You're bringing me down. Why are you telling me that?
Also, yeah, okay, Steve Irwin, who's messed with 10,000 alligators.
Now I feel like
of course.
ChatGPT is doing what you do to me, where you're like, well, technically, celebrities have been bitten by alligators because Steve Irwin is a celebrity.
I've actually, my uncle Billy got bit by an alligator, almost killed him, but he jumped from an airboat onto an alligator's back. Remember,
I didn't know it almost killed him.
It slid between his legs and it bit his thigh. And
he
then
could have lost his penis.
yeah, oh yeah, but he got infected because the gator's mouth is disgusting.
Yeah,
apparently,
it's horrible.
And so, and then he had to have drain tubes. I remember when I was
Drain
a kid.
tubes in your thighs?
Yeah.
Oh,
He had to
that's
have
a
the
bad look.
And then the Grizz got bit by an alligator in the hand because he grabbed the baby alligator in Peace River back when we used to go when we were teenagers.
When you get your thigh bit, do you have to lay around the house with drain tubes in your underwear? That sounds miserable, dude.
He had this big apparatus like you do, like
those
an
inflatable
cast,
yeah.
And then he had like drain things because his leg was infected. But both cases, they were messing around with the alligators and deserved to get
like
bit.
The gator cruised up on him and got him.
Yeah, no, he jumped on the gator's back and is just defending himself, biting crazy.
Hey, get off my back!
And then the Grizz just picked up a baby gator by his tail, and he's too dumb to realize that it could whip its body around and bite his hand.
Oh, the tail is it's a movable force.
It's just trying to save itself. But anyway, so rednecks. All right, bye-bye.
Perfect. Where's this go?
That's Friday 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Friday 1. And then I got to edit and rename some things, but we are good. I got to get some food. Good job, man. And then the other one that needed the edit was 2B. Go back over here. Wednesday. 2B needs an edit. There we go. All right, y'all. I'm gonna shut us all down and then restart. Obviously this thing's screwed up somehow. So, guys.